As for the manager, though, Shaka, you wonder how long he will be given to try and implement his style and his ideas on this side, because we've seen already under this Bowley era too, patience isn't too long.
Yeah, well, temptation is to say, well, he's got 5 years to prove his worth to the club. But under Todd Bowley, it's business as usual. We wondered what Chelsea would look like in terms of their approach, given the change of ownership. We knew what it was under Abramovich, and we just wondered what direction Todd Bowley would take it. And he's been quite clear in that announcement. For me, the sacking of Thomas Tuchel makes no sense unless you are piling all the failure of Romelu Lukaku on Tuchel's doorstep, unless you're adding in the fact that he couldn't get the best out of Timo Werner. I know it wasn't his signing, but then the easy speculation was he would get the best out of him, and clearly didn't. Other than that, it makes absolutely no sense. We've sat here all season and said Chelsea need a striker. They get one in, and in less than 90 minutes, Thomas Tuchel or less than 90 minutes with that striker, Thomas Tuchel is out the door. So from that footballing perspective, it makes absolutely no sense. For Graham Potter, I think it's a good signing, but the one caveat to that is, football management is such an inexact science. Just because you are doing brilliantly at Brighton doesn't mean that you'll do as well at Chelsea or one of the big clubs. But it is the most valuable of proving grounds. That and European action to me. If you can take a club, a smaller club, and compete in European football, I think that is as clear an indicator as you can get. Of course, Brighton didn't get any European football, but just the style, the method, the way he did things at Brighton makes him worthy of at least taking that gamble. And Chelsea have clearly put themselves in a position where they now have to make gambles.
Will it translate, do you think, Stevie, what we've seen from Potter at Brighton? There's no doubting that he's a talented coach, but is it bad timing for him? It's been a stumbling start, and now there's European football thrown into the mix too.
Listen, you never get a job like this at the perfect time. You only get a job like this when things are going awfully wrong. And yes, the perfect time for any manager would be at the end of one season, so he can have pre-season, but he won't have that. But at the end of the day, and I think I said it yesterday, Thomas Tuchel got the Chelsea job because he was supposedly a great coach. Everybody said he was a difficult guy to get on with. Well, Graham Potter's a great coach. We know Graham Potter's a great coach. We know that Graham Potter can win games in the Premier League with the best of them. And we know he's actually a good guy. He's very amiable, and he does get on with people. So, yes, if you look at the resume, it's a gamble, but it's not really. You're talking about a guy who knows the Premier League inside out. This is not a case of going and getting somebody who's been coaching in Russia or France or wherever. This guy knows the league inside out. He knows the players inside out as well. Now, yes, when you train with players, you see things that you don't normally see when you're playing against them. But he knows everything about every single one of them. So why can't he put this team together? He's got the chance. Except
managing a superstar ego. It's one thing knowing the Premier League, but then when it comes to managing big egos now, that's going to be a whole different part of it, isn't it?
Well, managing big egos is about your own moral compass. What's right and what's wrong. And you stick then to that. And half of managing big egos is knowing what you're talking about as far as what's going on in the field. You know, happy player's not going to cause you problems off the field. So if you can get your job right, which he can and will, I'm sure, then you're not going to have all these other problems. So I think this is a great appointment, and I'm sure he'll do well.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.